85% of people hate their jobs. People usually cite their income, their commute, or their boss as a source of their distress. You might also hear a lack of growth as well as corporate culture to be unbearable. But at the end of the day, hating your job is okay because it's not the real problem, and here's why. Though it may seem like solving these shortcomings will suddenly make your job more bearable, this isn't exactly true, at least not in the long term. While people may pinpoint these overlying issues as the source of their misery, the real reason people don't like their jobs is because they don't believe in the purpose of their work. When people choose their career pathways, the top two things people consider are the income potential as well as the type of work. They usually paint a mental graph of the relationship between a job's stress level versus the job's income. And they generally choose a career from this graph that they think will have the most favorable return. However, this approach is flawed as people usually end up choosing based on the ease of the work or the size of their paycheck as opposed to impact of their work. Though it might seem like having a low-stress job would be ideal, this is actually not true. In fact, studies have found that high-ranking government officials and military leaders who you would generally classify as having more stress due to managing more people and having more responsibility actually have lower levels of stress as well as anxiety. The thing is, people are instinctively looking to grow and change, and choosing a job that is too easy leaves workers unengaged and impartial to their work. Moreover, the leaders of the industrial world also often hate a large portion of their jobs. However, they find their roles in society quite fulfilling. This is because these leaders believe in the larger missions of their work and/or their companies. Two great examples of this are Amazon and Tesla. Both Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have expressed hatred for their jobs from time to time. Jeff Bezos has famously said that his personal goal is just to enjoy 50% of his work. He talks about how no one is going to like every single aspect of their jobs, as at the end of the day, they are jobs. For him specifically, his number one pet peeve is being overscheduled, as he is not a big fan of having plenty of meetings per day. But even if he reaches his goal of enjoying 50% of a day's work, this indicates that for every hour he enjoys working, he has an hour that he doesn't, if not more. Despite this, Jeff Bezos is much more than 50% satisfied with Amazon. This is because though he may not enjoy the intricacies of running a company day to day, he believes strongly in what Amazon accomplishes. You may love or hate Amazon, but the truth is, Amazon has revolutionized shopping and shipping, and that is something Jeff can get behind. Similarly, Elon Musk doesn't always like his jobs either. 2 years ago, when Tesla was going through production hell, he expressed this.
No one should put this many hours into work. This is not good. And people should not work this hard. They should not do this. It's very painful.
Painful in what sense?
It hurts my brain and my heart.
At this point, he was sleeping on a couch in the factory and working 20+ hours per day. You really need no explanation as to why he would find this quite unpleasant. Though this particular incident was temporary, I'd be willing to bet that most of the processes of developing world-class batteries, coding for autonomous driving, and landing rockets are not the best of experiences. However, again, the results are something that Elon can get behind. Now, I didn't choose these two examples simply to illustrate how two leaders of the tech world don't necessarily enjoy their jobs. More importantly, a major difference between the two companies is the satisfaction rates of the employees. Amazon consistently ranks as one of the worst places in the world to work for. Conversely, SpaceX and Tesla top the list of the top 30 most attractive places to work for engineers. Now, Amazon is also quite high up on this list, coming in at number 9. However, the difference is that the average employee at SpaceX and Tesla are engineers, while the average workers at Amazon are not engineers, but warehouse workers and delivery drivers. Thus, this favorable view from engineers at Amazon is not an accurate view of the perspective of the average Amazon employee. Two of the biggest complaints from Amazon warehouse workers are an extremely high workload as well as being underpaid. In Amazon's defense, they did raise the minimum wage for all Amazon employees to $15 per hour nearly 2 years ago. Despite this, the overall view of Amazon is still quite negative, as the general public still holds that Jeff Bezos profits off of slave labor. What's ironic though is that these two same shortcomings apply to Tesla and SpaceX, yet that hasn't affected the employees' viewpoints. The average salary for a Tesla engineer is $88,000, while the average salary for a software engineer at SpaceX is $105,000. I'm not saying these are bad salaries, but let's keep in mind that these employees are literally AI developers and rocket scientists. Not to mention, they're some of the best in the world. As such, these guys could easily switch over to Google, where the median salary for all of their employees is $246,000. Or maybe they could go over to Facebook, where the median is $240,000. In essence, there's no doubt that SpaceX and Tesla employees make good money. However, they are vastly underpaid for their skill sets, as they could easily move over to another tech company and not just make 20 or 30% more, but 2 to 3 times more. So it's definitely not the money that's making these employees so happy. Similarly, the working conditions are not much better either. Elon Musk has revealed that during production hell, not just him, but everyone at Tesla was working well in excess of 100 hours per week, which is the same as 14 hours a day for 7 days a week. And I don't care how much you like engineering or coding, you're not going to enjoy putting in this many hours whatsoever. So it's not fat paychecks or passion for engineering that's getting these workers so satisfied with their work, but rather it's their impact. And that's the key difference between workers who like their jobs and workers who don't. Employees who like their jobs are connected to the overall mission of the company or project, while employees who don't like their jobs aren't. Neither Amazon nor Tesla employees find their jobs to be super pleasant. However, the average Amazon warehouse worker doesn't care to work an extra 20% to get impulse purchases to their customers 2 hours earlier, while the average Tesla engineer is more than willing to put in another 50% to accelerate the transition into electric autonomous vehicles. And this same principle applies to all industries. The average finance worker doesn't care about making another 0.5% in returns for their already rich client. The average lawyer doesn't care about using tax loopholes to bail out another stingy client. And the average manager doesn't care about squeezing out the last 10% of work from their team. Conversely, teachers who love their jobs don't actually enjoy meetings, planning, or grading, which is the majority of their work, not to mention their meager paychecks. However, they enjoy seeing their students grow and evolve. And psychologists don't enjoy hearing about people's problems all day. However, they find meaning in helping their patients achieve a better mental state and lead a happier life moving forward. And that's the main takeaway from this video. 85% of people don't hate their jobs because they're overworked and underpaid or any of the other popular reasons. Rather, 85% of people are simply not invested in the outcome. As a result, when pursuing a career, the most important factors to ensure satisfaction and fulfillment are not how easy the job is or how much you get paid. Ideally, you at least somewhat enjoy the work itself. But over 40 years, it's likely that you'll find significant portions of your work unpleasant regardless of how passionate you are. And that's completely fine, as it's the purpose that makes you satisfied, not the work itself. But that's just what I think. Drop a like if you guys agree and consider subscribing to see more questions logically answered. But until then, I'm Hari and I'll see you guys on the next one.